Oh, that's great. So, how things like sit right now with you guys? What does it look like? You're back from, back from Maui. Was it like, did your systems hold up?
Yeah, no, I mean, so we had to do, some tweaking that year in Maui. But then we ended up having our most profitable year to date while we were living in Maui, just because like we just had to use the systems and remove ourselves from a lot of that stuff. So now that we're back, you
also had like amazing people around you.
Yeah, we have 2 rock stars on the team for sure. I mean, it's solid. So Megan always jokes around and says we're the worst employees on the team. It's like we are. Like if the bookkeeper's looking for receipts, they're in one of my jacket pockets for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry they didn't get uploaded. It's never going to change. Sorry. But the employees do really good. They're rock stars. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so it's been quite the journey.
Now you mentioned before we started recording that you had a friend and they probably won't listen to this, but you had a friend that hit you up because their daughter was going to school in Lincoln and was looking for a house, and you're like, "Oh yeah, now this means I have to be a buyer's agent." Is that if you're a licensed agent, licensed realtor, are you? Is it much better to be on the selling side than it is buyer side?
It is, in my opinion. There's a lot of work, and paperwork and stuff, but it's like upfront work, and you can do it on your time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all on me to get all the documents made and get all the listing agreements and the MLS data and all that kind of stuff. But I can do that on my own time. I know the date it needs to list. I know when it needs to be done by, and then it's all on me. I can figure out the rest however I like to do it.
Yeah.
Buyers, everything that is involved with them is on their time.
Mm-hmm.
So they call the phone. Oh, this just hit the market, or, oh, hey, this one's on the market and we just got off work and we want to go see it right now because we're worried about it going fast.
And it's always at night or on the weekends.
And it's always night or the weekends, which is my time with my kids. And after the amount of time that we were working the first 5 years, I was like, I'm going to be here for my kids when they're home and not be just trying to work. So I don't work with buyers except for like personal referrals or people that I know, personally. And then, I'll work with them on that point, but I always hate it.
Yeah.
Like, I love helping them out, but I'm always like kicking myself. Like,
well, yeah, because you just settle in to watch the football game or whatever on Saturday, or hang out with whatever you're doing, and then can we go see this thing at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, yeah, it's everything. Just
I take on one client at a time. That's my rule now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And I always tell them I can't take on more, and I give almost all my listing leads to my mom. I'll take on one buyer lead. And I'm just like, and I got the one right now. He's like a high school buddy. And, it's been pretty easy, not going to lie. But it's like, time that they're available is on weekends.
Yeah.
And I'm coaching sports and whatnot. And it's just not always.
Yeah. It doesn't work. It's impossible.
It's hard. But at least, they understand that and they'll work with me. But I'm always like, hey, you know what? You can go with somebody else. But I can see things that they can't see, especially if they want to buy a house that's a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
They're looking for one of those. And your traditional agent is just like, oh, you should just go buy that. They have no insight, no ideas.
Hey, Jeff, one thing I wanted to ask you before we kind of get into our last segments of the show here. You spent quite a bit of time in the military, and obviously a lot of people that you were enlisted with. Do you find that being in a very structured environment where you get orders and you can't question them, you basically are trained to kind of like do as you're told, is it hard to adjust to be an entrepreneur when you have to come up with all the stuff to do? Do you find that other, people that you've been in with have struggled with that?
Yeah, I think that's, in some way, most veterans struggle with that in some way or the other, wherever they fall on that spectrum. I think everybody does. Like I certainly did. Like that was the hardest part, is like I had been in the military long enough to know that I was done working for the man. Yep. And I've just always had that kind of free spirit anyway. So it's like, same with Megan. So we were like, entrepreneurship is the way to go. But it did terrify me because I was so used to just never having to think about that. I just I'm doing exactly what I'm told. I'm delegating what orders I need to delegate down. I know exactly what my role and purpose is within the team, within this platoon, within the battalion. And I'm good at it and I love it. And like, let's go. And we're with our brothers and doing the thing, versus now it's like, well, now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue. Oh, I have to call people and be like, you want to sell your house? Like, no, I don't want to do I'm not a salesperson. I don't even know how to deal with civilians at this point. I'm like going through a depression after like my injury and my whole life getting like turned upside down. And so I was just like constantly went to Megan and was just like, hey, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. And like, you just like, you're the visionary. you're the brains. She's way smarter than me. And I was like, and just put me to work and I got you no matter anything you need that I can do. And that's what we did for a long time. And that helped me get through like those like dark days and, of like dealing with, being out and like, the PTSD and like the depression from the injury and like all of that kind of stuff to, where I'm at now of 8 years later, fully recovered. Health is like 100%, like, the best shape of my life, and my back's not a problem anymore. Just years of physical therapy, chiropractic, acupuncture, all this stuff. And so now it's like, I'm playing with the kids. I can do backflips again. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing, advanced calisthenics and, all the things. And so it's like, it's just fantastic. So yeah.
It's such a miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you made it happen, but I mean, it's a miracle that you're able to come through all that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Ted with the Kash Dash Show. Please like and subscribe to our podcast. I got to get back to this Rio group. Everybody say hi. Yeah.